Movie and Music Network, offering underground, pop, and esoteric cinema. Discover more at movieandmusicnetwork.com. Lucious is an ex-drug dealer, ex-rapper, and now a record mogul.
But it was the music that played in my head that kept me alive when I thought I was going to get shot.
Concerned about his mortality, he looks to his 3 sons to see who will be his successor. But his ex-wife, recently released from prison, has other plans for the family in Empire.
Hi, I'm Brenna, here with Salim and Aaron to talk about Empire. We've all just seen it. Salim, what'd you think?
Hip-hop is hard to do. It's hard to do well because it requires a certain level of authenticity. It requires a certain level of knowledge about the subject matter. But I think that Lee Daniels, who we know from The Butler and Precious, does a fantastic job here. It's nuanced, it's got layers, it's got depth. I was so surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it's a story we've seen before. It's King Lear, it's the children.
They even say
they reference it in the episode.
Yeah.
We have 3 sons. They're each vying to be head of the company. How each son represents a different facet of the black community.
Yep.
We have the whitewashed, power-hungry, suit-wearing black guy who's got a white wife. And we've got the rapper who just cares about girls and beer.
Young women and alcohol.
Booze and bitches
young,
is what they say
women,
in the show.
Loose women.
And then we have the homosexual son, who is, I think, the most fascinating story to follow because we haven't seen that before.
I gotta tell you, this show is absolutely ridiculous, but in a good way. I mean, the amount of times that in the first 10 minutes I was just like, what is going on with this show?
I was really hoping it was going to be a hip-hop musical show for a minute there.
Yeah, well, I think it still could be.
It kind of is a
I
little
want
bit,
it.
yeah.
I want it to continue because not only is the music good, but they're writing lyrics for the show.
Exactly.
It's you know, there's original music for the show, which I think
And
is pretty cool.
that lends to the authenticity of the difficulty of writing hip-hop. We have Timbaland doing the music.
Exactly.
The music is fantastic. We have fantastic actors. And the story is, we've seen it before, but it's a new way of telling the story.
Yeah, well,
And the
everyone
reason
has little traits.
Yeah, you can tell that the story had lived way before we started watching this show, which is why I think that's so fascinating, is that these characters are very lived in, they have a history, so much so that we actually have this motif where we have flashbacks with Terrence Howard before he was this music mogul, when he was a gangster, and I think, I love that because it really shows you kind of the dichotomy of this guy's life. It really is diving deep into hip-hop and the mythos and just the history of it.
I guess I didn't know what to expect. The advertisements, the trailers, everything makes it look like it's super serious, but it's like
It's fun.
It's fun and like kind of goofy.
But
like,
it's got this
own
sense
way.
of hip-hop, you know, it's
Yeah.
serious when it needs
Sure.
to be, it's fun when it needs to be, it's political when it needs to be, it's really all-encompassing.
It's like the Black OC.
Yeah.
It's like
With music.
familial
Yeah.
drama
Yeah.
with hip hop music, like, you know, for a different demographic. And I appreciate the fact that it still appealed to me. I still enjoyed it.
So when did you get out?
2 days ago. You really,
It was your sacrifice that made a lot of this possible. I can't imagine what you've been through, Cookie. But you've got to know you're not the only one that suffered in this.
Our lead here is Terrence Howard, who is very good here. I mean, he's Terrence Howard. He's always good.
Yeah.
And he plays the mogul, the sort of patriarch of this family, who's dying and needs to find somebody, which of his 3 sons to leave the empire to. Taraji P. Henson plays his baby mama who just got out of jail. She's
pretty
awesome.
good, too.
It's a very difficult line to ride when you're playing somebody who is supposed to be over the top ghetto without being obnoxious or rude or stereotypical.
Well, right. Well, the first time you meet her, she's like, you cooking some chicken in here? And I'm just like, uh-oh. And then, like, please don't go over the top with it. But she kind of reins it in, and there's scenes where you can see that she's kind of dialing it back intentionally. So, like, the character...
She's a person, not a stereotype.
Yeah, and the character itself, she has many layers, and she knows, like, when to be really ghetto and when not to be.
She's really smart.
She's really smart. There are some scenes in there where you're kind of going along with it.
Manipulate it.
And you're like, oh, okay, they're gonna manipulate her. But there's a moment where she's like, She's like, did you hear this from this person? And I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
You do not try to pull a fast one on her. Because this isn't her first rodeo. And I love that about all the characters. They're so deep and nuanced. And I love that Terrence Howard is basically playing his character in Hustle and Flow and all the flashbacks, and he's playing the normal Terrence Howard that we know from like, you know, Iron Man 1 in present day. So it's funny because it's like these two people are perfectly cast for these characters.
Now that we know what the season arc is gonna be, it'll be really fun to kind of see how it just plays out and all the backstabbing and trickery and whatnot.
Yeah.
Look at him. Your brothers are showing off again.
That's what they do, babe.
Yo, Mom. Yo, when I was 5 years old, I realized it was a road at the end. Pretty girls, cars, and bang girls. Gold and platinum plaques, a couple.
Surprised Akeem is performing now. He likes to save it for when Dad's around.
The look of the musical numbers, too, I enjoy. It kind of, you know, don't get mad, it kind of reminded me of like how Glee is successful
that's very
in
much
their
what I
musical
thought of,
numbers,
yeah.
because I don't like Glee, but I think that musical numbers on that show are always super solid, and that's something, it doesn't exist. The show has not existed at all before, so I'm excited to see what happens with it and where it goes.
Empire is a complete surprise, unique with its execution, well acted, and so much depth that's gonna keep you coming back for more. Definitely see it.
Empire is definitely made for a specific audience, but I just so happen to be that audience, so I say see it.
Empire is fascinating, compelling, and handles some unexplored aspects of the Black community. I say see it.
Cheers!
Cheers to Empire.
Empire.
Good TV.
Empire Entertainment.
Empire.
Yeah.
The show's called Empire, and it's also an empire.
His music empire,
Wow.
Empire.